All right, so who are you?
My name's Mark Doberstein. I am, so I grew up in Schaumburg, which is just around the corner here. I was adopted when I was 5, and so I came over from Korea when I was 5. So my adopted parents, of course, lived in Schaumburg and grew up there. You know, growing up like a normal kid.
You were adopted?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, reason my last name is Doberstein,
Mm.
and I look like this.
Okay.
So, went to Schaumburg High School. Standard. Played some football, played some sports, soccer stuff growing up. And then when I was going to college, I went to Harper College in Palatine as a junior college. And then after I graduated there, a friend of mine was going to Wheaton College, and he worked at a computer store. So I always liked computers and technology and different things. My dad bought me my first computer when I was like 10 years old. So I got into technology kind of early. Most kids my age weren't using a computer. When I was 10, that would be 1980. Early technology. But my friend worked at a computer store in Glen Ellen when he was going to Wheaton College. And one day he came up to me and said, hey, you want to do some computer consulting? So I said, sure. What do we need to do? He gave me this book, this really boring book. It was an Apple networking book. Talked about how to connect Apple computers. He worked at Glen Ellen Computer Center, was a Macintosh-based computer store, and they didn't do computer consulting. So that's when my friend said, "Oh, people come in and ask all the time for computer consulting work, and it has to turn them down." So he said, "Why don't we go do that?" And so he asked me to read the book, which I promptly put to the side and didn't read for a very long time. But he, kept at me. Probably every couple of days he'd ask me if I read the book, and after getting tired of him asking me, I read the book. He asked me a few questions, and then he's like answered his questions, and he said, "Let's go do some computer consulting." So that's how I got into the job that I am now, which is computer consulting. So I've been in the business since 1993.
How did you hear about S.A.M Foundation, and what led you to start volunteering here?
So starting back a little bit, I started going to Willow Creek when I got married. I got married in 1999, and my wife, before we got married, she brought me over to Willow Creek Community Church in South Barrington. Actually, Wednesday nights was called New Community, and there was a speaker, and his name was John Ortberg. And basically, I had grown up as in the Catholic faith. My adopted parents were Catholic, and so I grew up Catholic. And when I turned 18, my parents said, "You don't have to go to church if you don't want to. It's your choice." And so I promptly stopped going to church. And so when I met my wife, before she was my wife, she brought me to Willow, and like I said, on Wednesday nights, and listened to John Ortberg, and it was a lot different church, a lot different than I grew up, and it was just different, and it was a good different. And so started going to Willow at that time, Willow Creek, and did various volunteer things. I still volunteer in cars and work on cars, but through the sections, they had section groups and section leaders, and we were always involved in a section from the beginning. Actually, I can take that back. We weren't always involved in a section, but we were mostly involved with sections. We never led, but we always were mostly part of a core group and sections at the church since like 2000. I think they started in 2014 or 13 or so. And so we were in the section, and then we left the one section, 103F, for a little while, and then we came back when one of the members of that section asked us to come back, and then the new leaders were Kurt and Sarah Kim. And so when we met them, we liked Kurt and Sarah, and we actually got in a couple small group with Kurt and Sarah, which we're currently still in. And during one of our meetings, he brought out a video, and the video was about the S.A.M Foundation and about helping the homeless, and kind of the idea behind the S.A.M Foundation, right? So connecting with people, homeless people, and connecting on a kind of a one-on-one basis, and helping them to connect with God. So I've always liked helping people in general, so that's why I do computer consulting, and I always work to trying to help people. And so volunteering in cars and doing other ministries, and it just seemed like a good fit. So I thought I'd try it. So I came starting in January this year, I think January, February, somewhere around there. It was cold. So that's how I got to be here. And it was basically through Kurt and his wife, kind of the prompting of their ministry.
So since serving at S.A.M, how's the experience been for you?
Experience has been great. It's been good to get to know the other volunteers like yourself, Jeff, and Hope, and Han, and Kurt. Getting to know Kurt better. Actually, just seeing him interact with the people that come in, brothers and sisters that are homeless or have been homeless, and just coming and interacting, and just seeing the kind of relationship building that goes on. And I feel like this is a organization, or a group that really understands the fundamentals of how it is to serve and be like Christ. So it's being the hands and feet, doing tangible things, but then also leading people to Christ. And so my experience has been great, and it's very, initially, it's hard to, it was going out and seeing these people, and, kind of how do you interact, and how is, what is their situation? I still hear certain situations, and trying to understand how they got there, and, understanding how you can build a relationship with those people, specifically, what their, particular situation is, and, how they're getting help, and if there's things that we can help them with, And I like to bring some of my, skills, and, the skills that God has given me around technology and around cars and things like that, so that I can help people, just like others. So I guess the question is what makes me keep volunteering here, and what really makes me, again, my thing is that I feel like God has called me to help other people and to volunteer, and it's not my gifts or myself. It's really God's gifts to me that I can use to serve His people. So it makes me, and I don't want it to be about myself, but it makes, it helps that I know that I'm using God's gifts to help other people. And what really brings me back is the people here, the volunteers here that are volunteering here. And Kurt and Sarah, I see how dedicated they are to helping others, even at the sacrifice. We have to grow sometimes, right? Like myself and my wife, I don't think we're at the same place where we could sacrifice some of the things that Kurt and Sarah do. But, strive to be there, right? And to serve and help others and be excited about it. And that's the way I feel, is that maybe it doesn't come out as I'm super excited, but but I am very, that, and once I start to do something too. I like being dedicated to it. I feel like God is driving that dedication. Just like I still volunteer in cars. I've done that for 13 years or 12 years, 12, 13 years now, and I will continue to volunteer there. And then just anything that I can help with that God has given me the skills for, I appreciate and trying to help with that. So that's why I keep coming here.
Smile, Karen.
Can't see her. Oh, there she is. Yeah. Yeah, gotcha. Cool. How's your guys' days been?
It's all right, considering the weather and all that.
Yeah.
Accounted for.
Okay. What about you?
What?
How's your day been?
Been good.
Yeah?
Good, yes.
Okay.
When you wake up and you don't read your name in the obituaries, it's going to be a good day.
Yeah.
That's right.